Once upon a time, in a valley of green fields and clear rivers, there was a small, happy village. People worked hard, shared their harvest, and lived with peace in their hearts. Children laughed in the fields, women sang while fetching water, and men tilled the land together. Among these villagers lived a man named Jack. From the outside, he seemed like a normal farmer, but inside his heart lived a burning desire for more. Unlike others who thanked God for what they had, Jack always whispered, "If only I had gold and treasure, then I would be the richest of all." Slowly, greed took root in his mind like a poisonous plant. While others found joy in simple life, Jack's eyes searched only for wealth and power. Every evening, Jack sat under a tree, staring at the horizon and dreaming of treasure. The villagers shared their crops with one another, laughing and enjoying the little they had. Jack, however, felt jealous. His heart whispered, "If I find hidden treasure beneath the earth, I will rule this village." The village elders often reminded people, "Greed makes a man blind." But Jack laughed at them. He thought he was wiser than all. With each passing day, the dream of gold grew stronger. Instead of gratitude, he began to feel bitterness. His greed had now become an obsession, and he could think of nothing else except becoming richer than everyone. One quiet afternoon, a mysterious stranger walked into the village. He carried an old wooden staff, and his eyes glowed strangely. Without hesitation, he came straight to Jack and whispered, "I know what you desire." Jack was startled. The stranger continued, "There is treasure hidden under the mountain. But beware, once you take it, you must sacrifice your eyes." Jack's heart beat fast, yet his greed was stronger than his fear. He asked quickly, "So what if I lose my eyes? If I gain treasure, I will gain everything." The stranger gave him a strange smile, tapped his staff on the ground, and disappeared into the distance. Jack's greed now had a direction. Early the next morning, Jack set off toward the mountain. Birds sang in the trees, and the sun shone brightly, but he saw none of it. His thoughts were only on gold. He carried a spade and a pickaxe, and when he reached the mountain's base, he began to dig. Hours passed, sweat poured from his face, but he kept digging harder and harder. Suddenly, his spade struck something hard. His heart leapt with joy. It was a large wooden chest bound with rusty chains. Jack fell on his knees, laughing loudly. "At last, my dream has come true." In his excitement, he forgot the stranger's warning. With trembling hands, Jack broke the rusty chains and opened the chest. A dazzling glow filled the air. Gold coins, shining jewels, and sparkling gems overflowed inside. He shouted with joy, "I am rich. I am the king of this village." But within seconds, his laughter turned into screams. Darkness suddenly covered his eyes. He rubbed them, cried out, but it was useless. Jack was blind. The stranger's words echoed in his mind. "Greed makes you blind." He cried and clawed at the ground. "What kind of treasure is this? I cannot see my wealth." But it was too late. Jack dragged the heavy chest all the way back to the village. His eyes were blind, but his hands clutched the treasure. The villagers gathered, shocked to see his condition. "Jack, what happened?" they asked. When he opened the chest, the gold dazzled everyone's eyes. Some were amazed, others frightened. The village elder shook his head and said, "We warned you. Greed makes a man blind. Now see what has happened to you." But Jack, still arrogant, shouted, "Blind or not, I am the richest. All of you are nothing before me now." Jack began handing out gold coins to attract followers. Some greedy villagers accepted his coins and flattered him. But most of the villagers turned away. They whispered, "This wealth is cursed. We will not touch it." Children ran from him. Women looked at him with pity, and even his old friends avoided him. Yet Jack laughed proudly. "See, some bow before me already. Soon all will obey me." But he could not see how alone he had become. Though he had wealth, Jack's house grew colder and emptier. Nights felt longer without light. He could not see the gold shining, only darkness around him. When he spoke, no one listened. His arrogance pushed people away, and soon his home echoed with silence. Alone in the dark, Jack touched the coins with trembling hands and whispered, "I thought you would bring me happiness. Instead, you have stolen everything from me." For the first time, he began to realize the emptiness of his greed. Days passed, and Jack faced a new problem: hunger. Though his house was full of treasure, he had nothing to eat. He tried to buy food, but villagers refused his gold. "We value peace, not cursed money," they said. Jack begged and pleaded, but no one agreed. Finally, his stomach ached with hunger. The treasure chest mocked him in silence, shining uselessly in the corner. For the first time, Jack realized gold could not buy everything. One quiet night, Jack stumbled to the riverbank. He sat on the cold ground and listened to the gentle sound of water flowing. Tears rolled down his cheeks. "If only I had chosen gratitude instead of greed. Now I've lost my eyes, my peace, and my friends." His tears fell into the river, carried away by the current. In the silence of the night, he finally felt the weight of his mistakes. For the first time, Jack's heart longed not for gold, but for forgiveness. The village elder found Jack sitting by the river. With a gentle voice, he said, "Jack, true wealth lies not in treasure, but in the heart. You lost your eyes because you lost your gratitude. Yet, if you repent, you can still find peace." Jack trembled as he whispered, "I wish I had listened to you before. I thought treasure was everything, but it has given me nothing." The elder placed his hand on Jack's shoulder. "It is never too late to change," he said kindly. The next morning, Jack gathered all the villagers. He said with a heavy heart, "This treasure brought me blindness and misery. It is no longer mine. Use it to build schools, wells, and fields for the whole village." The villagers were shocked at his words, but their faces lit with joy. They accepted the treasure and used it for the good of all. Soon, clean water, learning, and prosperity spread throughout the village. Jack remained blind, but for the first time, he felt peace in his heart. Although Jack no longer owned the gold, his heart grew lighter. He could hear children laughing as they learned in the new school. Farmers worked happily in fertile fields watered by the new well. Women sang with joy. Though he lived in darkness, Jack felt surrounded by light. For the first time, he understood that happiness was not in owning riches, but in giving them away. Years passed, and Jack's story became a lesson told around fires at night. Elders would say, "Greed makes you blind, but gratitude makes you see." Children listened wide-eyed and promised never to chase wealth blindly. Jack's name became a reminder to all: true treasure lies in the heart, not under the earth. His story shone brighter than gold, passing from one generation to the next. Jack lived the rest of his life quietly. Though his eyes never healed, his heart was full of light. He spent his days advising others. Treasure is not hidden in the ground. It is hidden in your heart. Gratitude and kindness are the real riches of life. The villagers respected him deeply, calling him the man who was blinded by greed but enlightened by truth. In the end, Jack found not gold, but wisdom, and that wisdom shone brighter than any jewel.